My name is Dominic Ita. I am a member for Kongara. I've been a member for Kongara since 2005. Mining bill, it is one of the most controversial bill that ABT has passed since its inception in 2005. Now, mining bill is the most important bill even for the people of Bougainville, because it talks about the rules and regulations and the laws that governs this very important wealth or inheritance that Bougainvilleans own. Lo miet mi lugi mosem, mining law blo Bougainville, mi bla all Bougainvilleans, mi bla ino contribute. With me, no Bougainvillean contributed towards the framing of the mining bill. This bill is a foreign law. Foreigners drafted this bill. This law, emin abim biyainin process blongen. A process where this law emin ablo biyainim lo framing. Number one, all mining divisions, all inabgolo peles line. Na only ask him all. You bla like law, blo you bla emista posem wanem. How you bla like him law, blo you bla by stablo olsem. Is this how you want your mining law to be? Eminobin kama bosem. Now, if the law was framed in such a way, na emi kam lo flow lo parliament, it would be automatically passed because that is the law of the people. But how this bill emi come, emi no come olsem. Sorry too much. You mean all people blow Bougainville, you mean no contribute to framing this law. Somebody else frame it outside. In fact, by me put him osem, all must I write him. Time only write him, only put him on interest blong all ego inside too. This bill, lo August, lo 2014, only been like table him lo flow lo parliament. On Tuesday, mi bla all get the members go, time mi bla go and lo parliament, even all make a muy line to only been come. Because only me like look him how, all by passing this bill or debating this bill. Time mi bla go inside, the president made the first reading. And me making first reading, na only being action him, he go long Thursday. Olo plenty members, mi bla olo me too one time, mi bla bin come, mi bla bin tinting, lo rouse him this la bill. Because the whole thing never followed the proper procedure. Time only action him, he go lo Thursday now. Lo Wednesday, only bin kissing mi bla all get the members, he go lo Kuri, Village, Resort, conference room. Oli kisi mi bla golong up now, all lawyers oli grisi mi bla longen. Oli put in PowerPoint presentation. Oli talk, there's a section emi stop good, there's a law emi stop good, there's all clauses emi stop good. Because only been looking mosem all members here, only no sabi lo this la bill. True, mi mas olsem, the members never knew about this bill. And we been golong pitching all blong all. Me one blong last member usad ibing kisim copy lo bill blongen from the pitching hole. Na time me go pick him lo pitching lo bill lo pitching hole blo me bin looking mosem olo copy blong all law lo blong all narabla members and me stop yet inside the pitching hole, which means even the members were not well versed with the law. Primarily because we never contributed to the framing of the law. Only been gathering mi bla long Kuri Village result na only been greasing mi bla, which was not supposed to be done. And mi so mo se mi bla remember too, mi bla lo lik mangi. Okay. Time only explain him ego. Even at one stage, Tony Reagan and me make him one black comment. BCL and we can quote him EUPLA. Because section 23 lo constitution lo Bougainville emi walking stick natin tasol. BCL behind emi can cut him ibla. Me, time yarim sa tok-tok, mibing tingi mosem, is this man trying to give a threat to us? Emi oklo like threatening me bla lo pasim sa law. So that day, one time explanation long all lawyers, all this all members who sat in Sanab one time me, because only no been clear Russia bilia, only been tanning bell. Only tanning bell, now only one bell one time law. Me that's all me no being one bell one time law. Because me looking Muslim, this law is a foreign law. Even one prominent leader block Central Bougainville too. Emi Sanap, emi karai liglik. Because Tony Reagan being mentioned in Muslim section 23, block Bougainville Constitution, emi walking stick. Me Sanap now, me comment na me making Muslim. This law only no right him lo talk plus blow me. Where mina blo sabelo all get the height meaning blongen. Emi no stablo talk bless blo me. Me must make him get awesome. There's a law only write him lo talk bless blongo master na emi stab lo talk height. Lo Thursday now, me blagolo floor blo parliament. Speaker now emi opening floor for debate. Time emi opening floor blo debate. No got money bin sanap. All get the members here no got money bin sanap. Me sanap. Me thanking president. Lo statement blongen. Na me bin start one time talk blow me. Me bin call him desbla law. Emi foreign law. Me bin make him talk lo siya law. Osem emi no come through the door. Let me come through the window. Now me being ask him, lo flow lo parliament. Me like looking more this like correction blong lo people blow me. Or lo correction na amendment blong long draft 1, draft 2, na draft 3. Me ask him more parliament. Because me been talking more of him. This law em no law blong lo Bougainvillean. Em law blong lo master ya. All master ya write him or finish him taso na ibla like come table him nothing no problem parliament. So me talk go down, me make him clear along all them. This law is a double agent. It is part agreement na part law. Because emi got mentioned longen one black company is up inside Venice, this black law where is a very important piece of legislation belonging to a proposing young nation. Yet this black law inside, me being calling Muslim double agent here. Emi part agreement na part law because name law one black company emi start finish inside the law. But the law only being addressing taso osem former title holder. During the debate, maybe make him clear. Na maybe ask him executive command. Lo one black long executive command lo sanap na call him this la so-called former title holder by name. Time me ask him this la question. President Dr. Chief John Momis emi sanap na emi talk. Of course, MBCL. Maybe talk against MBCL. Longol kain pasin. Time emi kam lo Bougainville. Lo wokim di sila mine. Inception lo mine. History emi make him kiria or sem emi bin come up lo direct opposition longol people lo peles. Lo inception lo panguna mine. Time bulldozer emi oglo roni ko ilek wokim roti ko antab lo panguna. O lapun mama blo rorovana. Only been looking. Maski or lusa line only no be school before. Lo conscience blong only looking finish something ya time me go on top and by bringing bakarab he come down. So all mama blo rorovana only been go na only pun down only the front lo dosa lo pasim dosa lo go on top. Time only making mosem this blood time kiap even stop and Chris Warilo. And me come kisim mo police. Na olo police riot squad, oli ko puli mol mama robana ya, oli ko turma yoro sel. Mitok suppose if like pass him this la bill against him opposition long all people. Because this blood time even got all plenty all make amu your staff sit down inside the gallery blo parliament. Meeting address him house na mitok. You bla put him on this la man inside the Karabu state. Time you bla like pass him this la bill, time only no one bell long end. Put him on man yellow Karabus. Because this law, suppose emi no work out good, this law by during blood blongod this bloodline. Lo crisis foreign law emi diringin blood blongod bougainvilleans.